No torque steer either. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going over a 2021 Toyota Camry XSE Hybrid. With all that being said, let's just get right into the video. So under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 2.5 liter 4-cylinder that goes through a CVT automatic. It's also paired to a hybrid system. Total system output is 208 horsepower, with fuel economy being 44 around town and then 47 on the highway. And then I'll show you guys what I've been averaging. Now let's go over the front end of the Camry. So first off, you guys will notice we've got the body lines on either side of the hood, and on the outside it gives it this strong, like angular, muscular look, which kind of makes the newer Camry just look a lot more aggressive. Now, coming down below, we've got the LED accent lights with the projector bulb. We do have the parking sensors integrated to the front with the Toyota logo that's got the blue accenting right there. Camera just down below all of that. And then you guys can see all the body work here in this area. And the thing that's cool about the XSE package is it just makes everything look a whole lot better by adding more body painted elements and then some blacked out elements as well. And you can see that here on the front end. Now coming on the side here, we've got two 35mm tires wrapped around 19-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you can see the wheels have been completely blacked out. Looks really good, matches the accenting there on the front bumper. And yeah, overall I think that Toyota just did a good job with the wheel design. Moving on from that, we got the hybrid badge right here. Notice the mirrors are silver to match the door handles and everything else. We do have some chrome trim around the window, which is interesting on an XSE because it's supposed to be like a sportier looking package. So who needs chrome? But anyways, there's kind of your full side view. You can see the hips there on the back. The new Camry just looks pretty good. Now here's our key fob. We've got the Toyota logo there on the back with the Camry print down below. We've got our unlock lock, and then this opens up the trunk, which just basically unlocks it, and then you have to pick it up the rest of the way yourself. And well, let's pop here into the rear trunk area. So you can see first off, if we pick this up, got all these tools and everything just in case you get stuck on the side of the road. And then moving on from that, you can see the storage space here in the back. Super good. Camry is a bigger size sedan, so you get pretty good storage. And well, that's all. Now let's go over things in the rear of the XSE. So first off, we have this body painted spoiler here on the rear, which kind of blends in with everything. Got these signature taillights that have the accent piece that goes off to the side. Parking sensors here on the bottom portion. And then you've got the two exhaust tips sticking out there. And then you guys can see the diffuser and all that fun stuff. And besides that, that is everything for the rear. Now here's the door panel in the back. You've got this piece of trim that actually continues all the way to the door handle. I think that is pretty cool. You've got the padding just down below with the stitching that goes throughout. And then you can see we've got the leather seats here in the XSE. And then notice how you have the suede insert right there. It's all perforated here down the center. And then you guys can see really nice here on the side. And then just look at the padding with this. So we're gonna move the scraper there. Don't need that anymore, even though I had to drive this in the snow a little bit, which we'll talk about. You guys can see the legroom right there. Headroom as well. Got some vents back here. This pulls down to be an armrest and some cup holders. And let's head to the front. Now here's the door panel at the front. You can see that trim piece goes all the way to the door handle again, just like in the back. You've got, again, the soft touch here with the stitching goes throughout all of your window controls, the mirror adjustments, and then the mirrors do have blind spot monitoring. And then here are the seats at the front, again, with the perfect leather here down the center, and then the nice bolstering here on the sides. Power adjustments right there. And then here are the pedals just down below. We've got this for the lights, the stability control, the cameras, that's for the trunk, that's the gas release. This is the adjustment here for the steering wheel. And then you can see the padding right here with the stitching. And those are what I'm looking for we pop in. So here's our steering wheel in the Camry. You've got nice leather that goes all around the steering wheel. You've got the darker stitching on the center portion. We've got all of our cruise controls over here with the follow function. Paddle shifters there on the back for the CVT automatic. And then we've got all of our controls for the center stack, voice commands, and volume controls as well. Turn signal light stock, windshield wiper stock, and that's all for the steering wheel. Now here's the center gauge cluster. Notice how on the one side you've got the Charge Eco and then Power, and then on the other side you've got the speed. And then you guys can see my fuel economy. I've been averaging just over 40 miles per gallon. I will say I floor it quite a bit, but you know, it is what it is. Other than that, I think that this center screen looks pretty good, gives you all the information you need to see. And notice we're in the full EV mode. We have an eco mode that we can go into. We've got a normal, and then we have a sport as well. So depending on the driving conditions, you can determine which mode you want to go. And then there is an EV mode button that you can press, and that'll kind of prioritize trying to stay in full electric mode as long as it can. So here's the center infotainment system. First off, we're going to pop it into reverse. We've got a backup camera with trajectory lines. They do turn with the steering wheel. And then you have the other viewpoints here out of the camera, and then the bird's eye view as well. So from a camera perspective, it's solid. As for the rest of the infotainment system, response time is great. So when you press things, you pretty much get an instant response. And then also with the buttons here on the side, they respond very well. And if you guys are wondering, here's a better look at the buttons. Sorry, the lighting's kind of horrible right now, but it's also because the screen is white and it's very bright, so it's hard to see the buttons on the side. But anyways, that's the infotainment system. So we've got our dual zone climate controls just down below here. Pretty easy system to use overall, and you know, pretty self-explanatory, normal Toyota fashion. We've got the wireless phone charger right here. We have the shifter for that CVT, and again, you have the manual shift function. We've got our drive mode select here with our auto hold, and then the EV mode. Parking brake, a couple cup holders. We've got our controls for the heated and ventilated seats right there. Here's a better view of that. Got the center console, which has some nice padding. And then you can see the storage space inside of it as well. And then coming over here to the glove box, you can see good storage space. You got padding all over here, and then notice the little bit of ambient lighting. And then I really like that trim piece right there. That looks pretty snazzy, I guess I'll say. And then finishing things here at the top, we do have a sunglass holder. Traditional mirror does have auto mirror or auto dimming on it. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, and there's all for the top. So here is our window sticker for the Camry Hybrid. First off, feel free to freeze the frame if you want to see or read rather any of the standard equipment that comes with this. And then you guys can see the optional equipment that's been added to this particular car, like the navigation package, for example, driver assist as well. And so yeah, tax a little bit onto the base price, but here's the total MSRP, $36,974. Let's take it out and see how it drives. So let's talk about visibility before we set off here on the XSE. So you can see visibility of the hood, and then you can see the heads-up display now for the XSE. Visibility through both the mirrors, which they do have blind spot. And then you guys can see over here with the other shoulder and the other mirror, and then throughout the rest of the rear. And with all that being said, let's set off. So we are setting off here in the Camry Hybrid. And first off, let's talk about the road noise and the ride quality. So from a ride quality perspective, the Camry is exceptionally smooth and it's very comfortable. Again, I've put a ton of highway miles on this car, and it's just been a really comfortable place to be. And it's something that I actually enjoy just daily driving because it's really comfortable from a ride quality perspective. The seats are comfortable, and they've just nailed it. Even though this isn't technically a luxury car, it does kind of have that feel because of just how sturdy the car is. But then also just, again, the comfort. I know I said comfort a million times, but that's something that is key with the Camry, is comfort. Now, aside from the comfort with the car, other daily driver stuff, storage space has been good. Did a couple shopping trips with this, and seems like it fit things pretty easily. The trunk space is really solid with that. And then also, if I had to use the back seat, I was able to, so did pretty good overall with that. And in terms of the fuel economy, because that's something that people are going to be very interested in, kind of talked about it in the walk-around portion, but I'll kind of touch on that again. It seems like if you drive this like a reasonable human being, you can get pretty good fuel economy. Not as good as the Prius, but again, this accelerates so much better. The Prius has like no acceleration. It's pretty bad. But and I mean, it makes sense. It has like 120 horsepower. This has over 200 horsepower, so it actually moves. Like, you put your foot down, and there have been times where, like, because this has a CVT and because it's a hybrid from Toyota, I'm not expecting this to get up and move very quickly. I'm expecting it to just be mind-blowingly slow, and it moves. We'll get an acceleration up here in just a moment, but you guys will see it's actually really good from an acceleration perspective. So this will be like just to 30. Well, almost there. I let off a little bit too early, But yeah, you guys can see that initial part, like 0 to 20, really solid. And again, you get that instant torque from the electric motor, so that helps out quite a bit. But this road right here has a higher speed limit, so you guys will be able to see quite a bit more. I guess we'll touch on the brakes. The brakes are actually, they feel normal. They don't feel weird or anything like that. Sometimes hybrids will have weird feeling brakes. I feel like I'm just driving a normal car with this. And no torque steer either. You guys can see, you get up to speed, I mean, yeah, foot all the way down. It wasn't in the sport mode either. I'm actually gonna pop it into the sport mode and see if that changes the response or anything. So since there's no one behind me, I'm gonna slow down quite a bit. Just for testing purposes, of course. Don't punch it. Feels like it has a little bit more urgency in the sport mode, but it feels like it's pretty much the same. Yeah, there's a little bit more urgency, but it's almost the same. And so I guess that'll get me into selling things up here with this Camry XSE Hybrid and giving it a score. So first off, exterior wise, I think the XSE package looks great. I'm not a fan of the chrome trim, but I think the rest of the package looks great, and so I don't really have any real complaints. I think it's just it's a good looking car. Interior wise, I think they did a good job. Touch points are nice. There is a lot of plastic, but the thing that I like about Toyota plastic versus other manufacturers is it feels really durable. And I'm like, I know this car is still going to be on the road 30 years from now, and you know, some old dude's gonna be driving it probably, but it'll be on the road 30 years from now, and everything will still like look brand new. And so like it makes me a little bit more okay with all the plastic bits compared to other manufacturers, I suppose. Aside from the interior, ride quality is great, comfort, all that stuff is great. It's just a really good daily driver car. It gets good fuel economy, has good space. It's comfortable to drive. It's really good all around. I guess the one thing I also will say is, like, this car got dropped off to me with a full tank of gas, and I've driven this well over 100 miles, and I'm now just barely below the F line. So yeah, it's pretty crazy how much range this has on one tank, which with the price of gas, I guess, with the price of gas, not gases, is pretty good, and it's something that is important to a lot of you, I'm sure. I guess I will make one complaint, which you guys will see in my other video on my second channel. Wireless phone charger, super annoying. But I mean, other than that, it's a really solid car. And as for a score for the hybrid, so hybrid front-wheel drive, larger sized sedan, mid $30,000 range, pretty niche category, right? There's not anything I can knock this for other than the wireless phone charger. So we're gonna give this like it's an average score, 7.5 out of 10. Doesn't really wow me in any way, but it does everything very well. Now that's gonna sum things up for a review on this 2021 Toyota Camry XSE Hybrid. With all that being said, I'll see all of you in the next video.